Welcome, beautiful people, to today's practice. I think you're really going to love this one. It's a real hip opener, and we work the glutes and the legs today. Let's start with our hands in prayer position, setting an intention for the day, whether you want to set it for on or off the mat, or both. Taking a big deep breath in as we swing the arms overhead, bringing hands to prayer position as we forward fold over our crossed legs. Maybe folding the arms and resting the forehead on the forearms. Sinking into this pose, and hopefully you're feeling a stretch in and around the glute and the hips, the upper leg. Stretching the arms out long now over to the left side of the body. The left hand comes underneath the right. So we get this beautiful shoulder stretch. And then crossing over to the other side. And stretching the opposite shoulder. Back to center. Maybe resting the forehead on the earth in front of you. Slowly coming back up to seated, crossing the legs the other way. Big deep breath in, and then forward folding over the legs. Feel free to stay up on the forearms here, or cross them over and rest the head gently on top of the arms. Relaxing the body and letting it fall heavy here, melting towards the ground. And coming over to the right side, placing the left hand over the right. Feeling that shoulder stretch. Back to center and then crossing over to the left. Back to center and just letting the head fall heavy for a moment. And pushing up on the hands, coming back to seated position. Big deep breath in, interlacing the fingers, turning them inside out as we take our arms high above the head, and then stretching over to the right side. Breathing in and exhaling as we go over to the left side. Releasing the fingers, coming back to seated pose and taking our chest high towards the sky, dropping our head back, and then curling our spine in the other direction as we pull ourselves forward, opening the heart to the heavens, and then pushing the back towards the back of our body. Inhaling as we come forward, exhaling as we curve backwards. Coming up onto our right knee now, left leg goes long, left arm comes up overhead, planting down through the right hand, arm for support. And then if you like, you can do a bit of a back bend here, going out on an angle. that feels good. Otherwise, just staying in this beautiful side bend, a kneeling side bend. And then taking the left leg parallel with the ground. We're going to do 5 toe taps here. It's a great pose for the glutes. Holding for a moment on the last, and then bringing the left knee back down to meet the right. Swiveling over to the other side now, coming up on the left knee. Right leg goes long. Right arm goes long overhead, planting down through the left arm. Creating space down that right side. And then lifting the right leg so it's parallel with the ground. 5 toe taps this side. Nice and controlled. Continuing to breathe through the motion. And then bringing the knees to meet. Coming onto all fours now. And run through some bird dogs. So taking the right arm long, left leg long, and then curling the knee and the elbow under the body to meet in the middle. 5 times, looking for elongation here, from fingertips to toe tips. And then pausing on the 5th, then raising the arm and the leg as high as you can. 5 toe taps here. Maintaining this beautiful curvature in the spine while we work our glute. Back to tabletop. Left arm long, right leg long this time. Bringing the elbow and the knee underneath the body as we curve the spine to allow them to meet in the middle. And then pausing on the 5th. Taking foot and hand high, and then 5 toe taps. Back to tabletop. Taking the knees wide now. Sitting the bottom down on the heels. Taking the arms long in front of us. As we melt our forehead down onto the mat. Sitting down in child's pose. Filling the rib cage with air on each inhalation, and then exhaling all the air as we come over to the left side. We're going to put a bit of a twist in our child's pose today. So bringing the right arm underneath the left side of the body, gently resting the head on the right arm. Feeling it through the shoulders here, back to center. Over to the right side as the left arm comes underneath the head this time. Back to center. Just taking a moment to be aware of any tight spots in the body. Maybe you're feeling really subtle and relaxed and calm right now. As we use our hands to push our body back up into tabletop. We're going to bring our knees together and sit back on our heels here, nice tall back. And then arms out in front. So we do 5 butt taps on our heels, really engaging the core in this pose. Using our legs, and then bringing the left leg forward, raising the arms up above our head as we sink our hips towards the earth, putting a bit more of a back bend in. And then hands to prayer position as we take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, twisting the upper body, taking our gaze towards the sky. Maintaining breath, back to center. Sitting back on the heel now as we stretch that left leg, catching the toes with our fingertips. Then coming back up into this low lunge. Planting down through the right hand, left hand goes high to the sky. And then grabbing the right foot with our left hand, right arm goes long out in front. We should feel this beautiful stretch through the front of the quad and the right leg here. So we pull that foot towards the bottom. And then gently releasing the foot, framing the front foot again, and then bringing the knees back to meet as we sit down on our heels. We're going to do 5 taps again, maintaining breath on each movement. Exhale, inhale, exhaling, inhaling. And we're going to bring the right foot forward between the hands this time. Taking the arms towards the sky. A bit more of a back bend as we sink those hips closer to the ground. Hands to prayer position as we lean the left elbow on the outside of the right leg this time. Twisting the upper body. Coming back to frame the front foot, planting down through the left arm, right arm goes long towards the sky. Arms out in front, and then grabbing that left leg with our right hand this time, left arm going long, pulling that foot towards the bottom. And then gently releasing the foot back to the ground. Coming back to sit on the heel as we stretch out the right leg this time. Grabbing the toes gently. And then coming forward into low lunge before taking the knees back to meet. Going for a closed leg child's pose this time. Gently resting the hands on the feet behind the bottom. Head is gently resting on the mat. Just allowing our spinal column to relax here. If you can't quite get your bottom to your feet, you're welcome to put a cushion in between. And then slowly coming up, we can bring our feet on a 45-degree angle, raising our arms above our head into prayer position as we come into goddess pose. And then leaning the right elbow onto the right leg, taking the left arm up overhead. Left elbow to left leg, right arm overhead, maintaining this position, getting a stretch through the pelvis. Bringing the arms into cactus, hands on our hips, and then coming down to one side for a side lunge, holding for a count of 5, back to center, over to the other side, holding for 5, back to center, and do it one more time each side. Feeling a stretch in the upper legs here. And then forward folding, stretching the back of the legs. Hands to the mat if you can reach. Otherwise you can interlace the elbows, hold the elbows with the hands. Maybe nod the head. Maybe you'd like to grab the shins of the legs. Pull the upper body a little bit closer. Get in an even deeper stretch. It felt so good. I could have stayed here all day in this position. Bringing the hands back to the hips now as we raise the upper body. Big deep breath in as we drop down to goddess pose, but this time we're going up onto our toes, the balls of our feet. Still sinking deeply towards the earth. Walking the feet in a little bit now as we drop the bottom towards the mat into our yogic squat. Hands in prayer position in front of the chest. Elbows are pushing the knees outward. Maybe popping a smile on your face. Not taking this practice too seriously. This is a great pose to really release any emotion that often gets caught in and around our hips and pelvis. And then as we lower our body down on the mat today, we're going to go straight into our final resting pose. Shavasana. Take the legs long here if you like. Palms are face down if you feel like you need some grounding today. Otherwise, feel free to have your palms face up. I'm going to be here for about 5 minutes. I'm not going to talk through this one today. I'm just going to let you sink really deeply into relaxation and allow yourself the time and the space and the energy to just fully be here in this moment for yourself. So you can have peace and serenity not only on the mat today, but as you move about your day. So I'll bring you out of this pose in a few minutes' time. Starting to take some deep inhalations here, and then exhale. One more time, big inhale and exhale. As we start to bring some movement to our fingers and our toes, our hands, maybe doing a few stretches. And then when you're ready, rolling over to one side. And then pushing yourself gently up into a seated pose, crossing the legs, sitting nice and tall, keeping the eyes closed down. And then bringing our hands to prayer position at our third eye, repeating after me, may I have kind and loving thoughts today as we lower them to our lips. May I speak kind and loving words today as we lower them to our heart. May I have kind and loving intentions today. And just before we close out the practice, thinking of one thing that you're grateful for right now. Could be someone or something, and taking that feeling of gratitude into the rest of your day. Namaste.